Well, hello on this lovely Thursday morning. Shining a light on minimalism. My understanding from art school was that minimalism was about clean lines, geometric shapes, reduced color palette, and image and objects that do not contain recognizable symbols such as trees, buildings, faces, stuff like that. So when I joined several minimalism groups and was faced with images of lone trees in a landscape, a boat on a lake, a person in a vast field of nothingness, I found it a bit irritating. Well, I thought perhaps I misunderstood, so I decided to look into what minimalism is. And I've come away with a completely different understanding. First, the concept of minimalism, the idea that less is more. This concept can be found in all areas of human endeavor, from art through the design and architecture, lifestyle, including consumerism. Its beginnings reach far back to when a transcendentalist philosophy took hold in America in 1800 to 1850 and was popularized by the likes of Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau. They held that the idealistic view that insight and enlightenment can be gained through solitude and simplicity. This new approach to simplicity is something that would continue to evolve for years to come. I'll be providing images in groups of 5 from 3 areas. First, abstract expressionism, of which it is said that minimalists were moving away from. The second group includes artists credited with the beginnings of the minimalist movement. And then the last 5 are of works by contemporary minimalist artists. The modern style that the word minimalism is most associated with was heavily influenced by the schools in the Bauhaus era, 1920 to 1930. Teachers and students of the school offered an alternative to current manufactured products by reimagining the role art could play in society. Their ideal was of balancing beauty with utility in product design. By injecting creativity and thoughtfulness into the production of otherwise cheap and ubiquitous items, the Bauhaus School inspired the concept of elevated design for everyday life. In the 60s and 70s, the term minimalism itself gains popularity among certain groups of young artists who resisted the stifling conventions of fine art. There was a breaking away from abstract expressionism of previous generations, removing the storytelling and metaphors from their art and focusing on industrial materials, white space, and sleek, simplistic works. In 2000, minimalism became mainstream. The ideas were being shared over the internet, which made minimalism the de facto term used across all of the communities. The philosophy of simplicity is ages old, but this blogging sparked a heightened interest in applying less is more as a lifestyle philosophy. Over the past decade, minimalist gurus turned a philosophy into a fad with 100 items or less challenges, 30-day no shopping contests, 10 things to throw away guides, and so on. So if someone tells you they are a minimalist, you can't assume you know what they mean. And even if their definition happens to be similar to yours, their interpretation may still be miles away from your thinking. So where does that leave us? The earliest minimalist-like image I found to share was the 1915 piece by Kazimir Malevich, who was not from this country. So I'm thinking that although we get the credit for the movement, it's really worldwide. It's a human effort, not a location or cultural effort. It's human. Then there's the stark reality that minimalism occurred decades before the actual term was assigned. And finally, that the art movement is far more narrow than are the assumptions about it. When I look at contemporary artists' minimalist work, I don't find anything I can identify as a life form. It's mostly shapes and shadows, color, positive and negative space, relationships, and is simplistic. Back in the 60s, it was labeled ABC art by those who were critical of the movement. It was correct for me to remove myself from those groups claiming to be minimalist because they do not have an understanding of the term. They only have the assumptions.
Hey, thanks for watching.